New York City, 2007. The city that never sleeps pulsated with a frenetic energy, even in the hushed hours of the night. In a cramped dorm room at a prestigious college, two best friends, Mark and Tom, hunched over a mountain of textbooks and pizza boxes. Mark, a walking encyclopedia with a mop of brown hair perpetually flopping over his eyes, nervously chewed on his pen. Tom, a whirlwind of energy disguised as a college freshman, sprawled across the floor, oblivious to Mark's growing anxiety. "Dude, chill," Tom said, tossing a crumpled napkin ball at a poster of Einstein. "Professor Thompson's softly. You asked at the last test, you'll be fine." Mark sighed, the weight of the world seemingly pressing down on him. "Easy for you to say, Mr. Adventurer. This isn't just any test, Tom. It's the final for Professor Davies' research seminar. If I miss it, I automatically fail the course, and with it goes my scholarship." Tom's playful grin faltered. Mark, despite his academic brilliance, was prone to paralyzing anxiety when faced with pressure. They'd been best friends since childhood, and Tom knew exactly how to get Mark out of his head. All right, Tom said, scraping himself off the floor. "Here's the plan. We raid the cafeteria kitchen for some serious brain fuel. Then you cram all night while I channel my inner Einstein and whip up a miracle study potion." Mark forced a smile. Tom's enthusiasm was infectious, but a nagging dread still lingered in his gut. This feeling intensified when he reached for his backpack, his heart sinking into his stomach. "My research paper." Mark choked out, his voice tight. I left it back at our lockers in Westbridge High." Westbridge High was hundreds of miles away, a relic of their childhood. Dread morphed into a suffocating panic. Missing the seminar meant losing the scholarship, but retrieving the paper meant a near impossible midnight road trip. Tom, ever the optimist, saw a glimmer of hope. "Dude, relax. We'll just borrow my dad's minivan. It'll be an adventure." Adventure was exactly what Mark craved, anything to escape the suffocating pressure. With a heavy heart and a desperate hope, they set off into the inky blackness of the highway. The drive was an unsettling symphony of silence and the rhythmic roar of the engine. The deserted highway stretched before them, an endless ribbon of asphalt under the watchful gaze of a cold, unforgiving moon. Reaching the familiar facade of Westbridge High, a shiver ran down Mark's spine. The once bustling school stood eerily quiet, its windows dark and lifeless. "This place always creeps me out," Tom muttered, his bravado a tad strained. They entered with trepidation, the stale air thick with the scent of forgotten dreams and dusty memories. Flashlights cut through the darkness, revealing rows of empty desks and cobweb-draped trophies. Tom, ever the joker, started humming the school fight song, his voice echoing eerily in the vast emptiness. "Come on, Mark. Lighten up, it's just a bunch of old desks." Suddenly, a blood-curdling screech shattered the silence. The flashlights flickered, revealing a chilling message scrawled in red across a dusty blackboard. "Leave. Now." A primal fear gripped them. Tom's bravado crumbled. Their flashlights illuminated the hallway, casting grotesque shadows that danced menacingly on the walls. Ignoring the ominous message, they raced to their old lockers, adrenaline pumping through their veins. Relief washed over Mark as he found the paper clutched safely inside his locker. Just as they turned to leave, a gust of wind slammed the door shut with a bone-chilling finality. Panic surged through them as the lockers groaned and shifted, casting long shadows that seemed to writhe and contort. Tom tripped over something unseen, the sound echoing in the deafening silence. Mark reached down to help him up, but a blood-curdling scream ripped from Tom's throat. The flashlight beam fell upon a horrifying sight. A dark, wispy figure with glowing eyes materialized from the shadows, with skeletal hands reaching for Tom. Mark lunged forward, a primal scream rising from his throat. But his hands grasped at empty air as the figure vanished, leaving behind a chilling coldness and the lifeless form of his best friend. Consumed by terror, Mark snatched the research paper and fled the school, the echoes of his own ragged breaths filling his ears. Back on the highway, the first rays of dawn painted the sky with streaks of pink and orange, a stark contrast to the churning horror in Mark's gut. Tears streamed down his face, blurring the sunrise into a watercolor nightmare. He reached the college, the familiar dorm room feeling alien and distant. With trembling hands, he dialed for emergency services, his voice choked with sobs as he recounted the night's events. The news of Tom's sudden accident at the high school spread like wildfire. Police swarmed the scene, finding nothing out of the ordinary, no signs of struggle, no forced entry. Mark, a shell of his former self, clung to the research paper, a tangible reminder of the horrifying night. He aced the test, securing his scholarship, but the victory tasted like ash in his mouth. Plagued by nightmares of the shadowy figure and Tom's terrified scream, Mark sought solace in silence. He isolated himself from his classmates, the life draining out of him with each passing day. One night, as he wrestled with his guilt, a familiar voice echoed in his mind, Tom's voice, playful and reassuring. "Dude, relax. We'll just borrow my dad's minivan." A chilling realization dawned on him. The voice, it wasn't a memory. It was a whisper, barely audible, emanating from the research paper clutched in his hands. He unfolded the paper, his blood running cold. Scrawled in a crimson ink that seemed to pulsate with an unnatural light were the same words from the blackboard. "Leave. Now." Below it, a new message had appeared. "It's not over." The paper radiated a bone-deep coldness. Panic seized Mark. Was Tom trying to warn him? Was something trapped within the walls of Westbridge High, clinging to the paper, and now to him? The questions swirled in his head, unanswered and terrifying. As the first rays of dawn peeked through the window, casting an unsettling glow on the paper, Mark knew his life had irrevocably changed. He wasn't just haunted by memories. He was Mark, tethered to something sinister that lurked within the shadows, waiting for its chance to claim him next. The story ends here, leaving the audience with a chilling cliffhanger. Did the entity possess Tom's spirit through the paper? Is it now after Mark? Did the accident at Westbridge High have a more sinister explanation? The unanswered questions linger, a haunting echo of the night Mark and Tom ventured into the darkness, a darkness that may have claimed one friend and now hungrily seeks another. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel to watch such interesting horror stories. And please don't forget to like and share.